block on Grooms, and down he goes, and Cason steps forward for a first down at the 43-yard line of Towson. Reeder, but they're waiting for him this time. Alan Argent, number 53, has got him low. Argent from Davidson, Maryland. He's one of two inside linebackers that Phil Albert will shuttle for Towson State, the other being number 52, Paul Gray. Delaware huddling back at their 48-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup to the 41-yard line. Webster out of bounds as Rogers was bearing down on him. Greg Rogers, the right side cornerback and touchdown maker, the only touchdown maker in this game.
Also has 2 interceptions.
We spoke of that before. Bill Bailey on the sideline. Bill, your observations here in the third quarter as Delaware is finally moving the football.
Well, now that they've got a little room behind them, I would expect them to put the ball up in the air and maybe try to counter crisscross. Look for one of the big plays that they've got last week.
Third down and 5 at the 38-yard line of Towson. Reeder slips one man, unable to slip Bubby Hammond. Number 39, Bubby Hammond, the inside linebacker on the right side. He comes over, and Delaware running out of downs. They'll have Anderson come on to punt it away. Just a single safety. Jim Ledowski is standing inside of the 15-yard line for Towson. Now he's going to be joined back there by Kaufman. Here's a fake. And Reeder is not going to get enough for the first down. Dan Reeder, as Delaware tried to catch Towson sleeping.
Towson didn't believe they were going to kick the ball at all.
You're absolutely right, Howard. They were looking for some kind of foolery.
I don't think too many people were fooled. The 3 minutes and 4 seconds left in the third quarter, and you're losing 10-0, and you're on the other team, between the 35 and 40-yard line. You got to go for it.
So the fourth down fake does not work, and Towson will take over.
Once again, Delaware's got to call on the defense to do a job of holding Towson.
At the 34-yard line is where Towson leading here at 10-0. 3:04 on the third quarter clock. This is the hard-running freshman, Wilkins, and they get him on the sideline here.
Jimmy Newfrock.
But Wilkins, he's running a little hard. And maybe a couple of unpleasantries on the sideline.
I think the Towson bench might have felt that Newfrock could have let him go a little bit quicker than he did. You got to play for that whistle, though.
The pickup is a little better than 5. We'll call it second down and 5 from the 39-yard line. Rogers has Loons and Murphy to the far side. O'Neal will dive close to a first down. Dickinson actually tripping him up back at the 40-yard line, but then he dove forward. And they are going to bring in the chains and have a measurement. Delaware has Vaughn Dickinson going off to the far side, and evidently a shoulder problem.
I think they're going to be about 6 inches short.
Delaware had Jeff Hynoski, a backup secondary performer, in on that last play. John Gannon is replacing Vaughn Dickinson. They stretch the chains. And as you called it, Towson will be short by about 6 inches. So Delaware's defense right now has Cannon at one end, Gannon at the other. Jeff Haudenschild at one defensive tackle position. The other being manned right now by Charlie Bryce. Joe Quigg, Greg Robertson, Sean Riley, Ken Pulowski. Delaware with 9 men up on the line of scrimmage. Now Rogers is 6'4", 210. He could probably just lay forward. O'Neal slips for the first down. As Delaware bunched in toward the center, O'Neal slipping outside and slips for a first down at the 46-yard line. Brian O'Neal off to the sideline now. He'll be replaced by Jim McEachin as they shuttle the tailbacks. Here's the charge, and you can see O'Neal just slip. Oh, Jimmy Newfrock took a good shot.
He did.
It is a physical game. First and 10 from their own 46-yard line for Towson. McEachin. Sean Riley's the first blue hen there at midfield.
Waiting for him at the 50.
McEachin and O'Neal from the tailback spot. They're both juniors, and I'm sure that Phil Albert is tickled with that situation because he wants to shuttle the plays in for the most part with those two guys. He's always got a fresh tailback in there, and they're both effective carrying the football.
I started to say it would not have surprised me if Towson had gone for a touchdown on that third down, leading 10-0 going into the last quarter, even if they had to kick.
Second down and 6, and McEachin this time is held up right at the line of scrimmage by Greg Robertson. Let me correct myself. John Gannon, 55 and not 56, and only about a yard pickup to the Delaware 48.5-yard line, and another blue hen goes off holding his shoulder. Jeff Howdenshield is going off. He'll be replaced as Delaware is going to send a fifth defensive performer into the secondary. Hynoski, Jeff Hynoski, comes on for Delaware. This is third down and 4 at the 48-yard line of Delaware. McEachin fake, and then the pass play. Coming out of the backfield is O'Neal. I tell you, Rogers did a nice job on.
Did a nice job of faking.
On me, anyway.
He did a nice job of faking, but he didn't do a very good job of throwing the ball that time.
Actually, his receiver O'Neal had not cleared out into the flat area, and Rogers threw it just a little bit too quickly. Delaware has some beef coming into the lineup now. Joe McGrail, backup defensive tackle, sophomore, 235-pounder. Nolan will punt it. They'll be coming. They don't get there. Quigg just misses again, and this time Nolan drives it, and it's going to go in for a touchback. Had it bounced the other way, fans, to the left instead of straight on, Delaware would have been pinned deep in their own territory, but as it is, the Hens will have it at their own 20-yard line. They showed some life on offense the last time they had the football, faking it on fourth down at about the 35-yard line of Towson. It didn't work. And now the Hens from their own 20. B.J. Webster in at quarterback. Exactly 1 minute remaining to be played here in the third quarter as Pontiacus will now set up tight on the right side. Cason had been more or less the forgotten operative in Delaware's backfield. He picks up 6 here. Got a good lead block out front for him by Doug Martin, number 60.
Well, Cason only carried the ball 2 times in the first half. That's, what, about his 4th carry? 5th carry so far in the second half.
Second down and 4 upcoming for the Hens. Webster needing to get something clicking for Delaware. He clicks with Reeder, and Reeder's going to click for a first down. Has the ball popped free, but I believe they're going to rule he's down. They are.
Yeah, they're going to call that play dead. I believe Delaware had recovered it anyway, though.
33-yard line is where they spot Reeder down. Just a few of the Towson rooters down below us think that the fumble should have been allowed.
Well, actually, if it was, Delaware would have gotten more yardage out of it. That might have been some Delaware fans that were unhappy with the call. Good point. From the 32. Hoist is after Webster. And it's batted away. Sager, the intended receiver, but Gary Rubling
who picked off his 16th interception of his career at Towson early in this contest, is there defensively as we have reached the end of the third quarter here at Delaware Stadium in Newark, and it is Towson State's Tigers surprising the University of Delaware's Blue Hens. After 3 quarters of play, Towson State
is privately owned. I received professional, personalized service from people who understood my business needs.
Set to begin play in the 4th and final quarter at Delaware Stadium. The Hens operating, 2nd down and 10 from their own 32. This is Chris Heyer. And Heyer has the ball at midfield. Chris Heyer taking the little swing pass from out of the backfield. And then he made it go on his own down the far sideline.
It's almost as though Delaware suddenly realized, hey, we've only got 15 minutes left, and we need 10 points in a hurry.
And Heyer off to the sideline, probably replaced by Tim Slagle. We'll check it out as they break the huddle. No, we've got Guy D'Arienzo operating now as a halfback. He's setting up in a slot to the right. Webster, and he's looking for D'Arienzo, and it's intercepted. Rubling has got the football, and Rubling has it back to the 37-yard line. Well, D'Arienzo was the catalyst a week ago, but there, Gary Rubling, there he is. Interception number 17 in his career. He is a senior, is Rubling, from Frederick, Maryland.
And just a little overthrown.
Too high for D'Arienzo, who only goes 5'9".
You can only stretch out and bring him in so many times.
He did it last week, but not this time, as Towson comes up with yet another Delaware turnover. That's got to be at least 7.
That's it.
We had a quick change of possessions to start the second half. In fact, the first 3 plays resulted in turnovers. First Delaware, then Towson, then Delaware again. But it's getting late in Newark.
Let's see, if my memory serves me correct, the last team to shut Delaware out was Temple last year, 22-0.
Your memory is good.
I don't remember when they were last shut out at home. That game was at Franklin Field.
Well, Bill Maley's on the sideline. Bill?
All right, I think the wind's going to make a big difference in this game right now. Towson's going against the wind for the first time this half. Delaware's going to have the wind with them the whole 4th quarter. They're going to throw the ball, and Towson's going to have trouble throwing the ball this half.
But right now, Towson does have the football. Here's Murphy. Sean Murphy on the flanker around, and he has put the football in Delaware territory. He's a scat-back size at 5'11", 160.
Jimmy Pawlowski finally got him out of bounds.
Traveled to Towson from Westfield, New Jersey. Fine receiver. And doing the job on the flanker around. That's the 2nd time they've worked it.
Here it is again.
And he's got a couple of blockers.
Watch this block coming up right here.
2 blockers out in front of him, and he puts the football to the Delaware 44, and here is McEachin. And he is inside the Delaware 30. James McEachin.
That time it was Mike Harris who finally got him.
And congratulating him is 61, Mike McCabe, and more congratulations for McEachin. Delaware's defense, which has been on the field a long time in this contest, maybe showing some weariness here in the 4th quarter. Still 14 minutes to play. From the Delaware 28-yard line, it's 1st and 10 for Towson. And you get the feeling that the Tigers think if they could score here, they could put it away. Mejia unable to bring it in at the 10-yard line. Mike Harris making the cover on him. Mejia has almost 1,400 yards in his career as a receiver, and he started as a freshman. He is the last freshman to earn a starting spot for the Tigers, 4-year starter. Might point out we've seen a lot of Scott Wilkins. He's only a freshman, but he's in there because the frontline performer, Brian Kirchhoff, injured in the first quarter. Wilkins directly behind Rogers. Here's McEachin, and he's got major yardage. He is down to the Delaware 10-yard line, and the size up front is now beginning to take its toll for the Tigers. They've got Bill Ward at left tackle, 6'2", 250. Mike McCabe at left guard, 6'2", 225. And the big center, 6'6", 270-pound Stan Eisenhuth.
It's almost as though Towson heard Bill Maley's comments. Last 4 plays, 3 of them have been running plays, and 1 has been the incompleted pass.
Just outside the Delaware 10-yard line. 1st and 10. They can't achieve a first down without scoring. Here's McEachin. They're ready for him this time.
He might have got back to the line of scrimmage.
A whole host of blue there to meet him. 97 is Charlie Bryce.
He lost about a yard.
But Towson, they want 7 here. They don't want 3. Because 7 means Delaware would have to score 3 times.
That's right.
A field goal means Delaware would only have to score twice. But Delaware offensively, except for 1 quick spurt here in the third quarter, has been totally shut down. 2nd down, and now 11 is the call, as Rogers has to realign the offense, and here's almost an interception by Pulaski. This is Jimmy Pulaski, number 16. His brother, number 30, Ken Pulaski. He mans the free safety spot most of the time. Jim Pulaski is the strong safety from Philadelphia. Senior. 3rd down and 11. It's a short 11. They can, as I said, achieve a first down inside the 1-yard line. Rogers and Loons unable to break free from the coverage of Mike Harris.
Rogers has not been very effective as a passer in the second half.
Not at all, I tell you. In fact, to be very frank, if he'd been on the mark, we may have had more than a 10-0 count for Towson State right now. Nolan will come on. Loons will hold it at the 18-yard line. 28-yard field goal attempt. He missed from this very spot in the first half.
I think he's also missed in the second half.
No,
he did. That's
he's
good.
Here is Jerome Nolan, the freshman, coming to the sideline after hitting a 28-yard field goal that stretches Towson State's lead over the University of Delaware's Blue Hens here at the stadium in Newark. The count runs now to 13-0. Towson leading Delaware. And the Blue Hens had better strike quickly.
Well, now,
fourth quarter action.
Now, Len, not only does Delaware have to score twice, but both of them have to be touchdowns. And even if they're able to do that, the point after becomes critical.
Nolan will now set up to kick off. And I'd like to remind you again that the Temple Owls are coming to Colin next Saturday. And this is Temple that has played the likes of Pittsburgh, Penn State, Cincinnati, Syracuse. I don't want to go on.
That's far enough, I think.
They haven't won too many, only one going into this weekend's play at home against East Carolina, and that's no pushover. In fact, East Carolina is favorite. Quezon. Back to the 25-yard line, John Quezon. And the offense will come on. B.J. Webster. Here's a look from the end zone as Quezon flirts with it dangerously.
Ball was going away from him.
And now he's going away from the white shirts, trying to find a little bit of a seam, a little bit of an alley. And down he goes. Delaware at their own 24-yard line. 1st and 10, trailing Towson here at 13-0. Pontiacus cannot bring it in.
Just a little, that must be so frustrating. That ball was like maybe 6 inches overthrown.
I hate to keep belaboring the point, Howard, but somebody did one whale of a scouting job on Delaware for Towson State. They are looking for everything that Delaware is throwing up against them. And I'll tell you, those 3 shutouts over New York Tech, Slippery Rock, and last week against Morgan State, they are for real. Webster's arm is hit as he goes back to pass. I believe it was Sheldon Nelson, who was putting the pressure on him. Hire unable to bring in the pass out in the flat. But Nelson, the ex-Marine, putting the heat on Webster, got to his arm, and he had completion.
Another long 3rd down play coming up for Delaware.
3rd down and 10, and the quiet here at the stadium in Newark. It's been a long time since I've heard this quiet. Oh, Delaware's lost here before, twice this season. But they were not looking for the kind of play out of Towson that they've seen today, and Delaware has run out of downs on the 3rd down play. And Anderson will have to come on and punt, and he needs to get off a good one with the wind at his back here.
And once again, the Delaware defense is going to be called on to do a job.
Jim Ledowski and Mark Kaufman are back inside their 30-yard line. Driving kick. It's going to hit and now take a Delaware roll from the 36 all the way down to the 14-yard line. So Anderson, who had a 74-yarder that was helped out by a long roll a week ago against Massachusetts, benefits from a friendly roll this time and pins Towson deep in its own territory at the 14-yard line, and the Hens now must look for a turnover.
An interception would be nice right here.
4-1 Towson State, 3-2 University of Delaware. A year ago, Delaware 51, Towson State 7, and just 11 minutes and 28 seconds to go, and Towson would own a major upset if the score stays as it is right now at 13-0. Here's bobbling the football is Rogers, and he's lucky he got it to O'Neill.
Sure is.
That ball popped up rather quickly as Eisenhuth snapped it up to him. Eisenhuth has that great size, remember, 6'6", 270. Here's the ball. Whoa, Brett, he's got a little problem with it, but he does find the handle. No gain as O'Neill is belted right as he reaches the line of scrimmage. McEachin is in now at the tailback spot. 2nd down and 10 from the 14 of Towson State. McEachin slips away from one man, slips away from another. Jimmy Newfrock. Jimmy Newfrock was the last line of defense, and boom, Towson is out of a big hole.
Boy, they sure are.
Jim McEachin. Quick feet. Someone missed him right at the line of scrimmage, and then he was off to the races, and had not it been for Newfrock, here's the ground level shot, and he slips that one tackler, and away he is going. Newfrock had to catch him from behind.
Just did get him, too.
Here at the 47-yard line, 33-yard run for McEachin.
Oh.
Wilkins, he stumbles and puts the football to midfield. Second down coming up for Delaware. The glum Delaware sideline right now. P.J. Webster waiting to get back in. Delaware doesn't have the football. It's controlled right now by Brett Rogers and company.
Too much time.
Well, they're willing to let a little bit of that clock run off now. I don't think think they want to start celebrating too early. 5-yard step off, delay of game, back to the 45.5-yard line. Second down and 11. Rogers probably will be content to keep the ball on the ground. He is. McEachin into the stack. They just want to run the clock, figuring that if they run enough of it, even should Delaware get on the board, they've got to get on the board twice to the Hens. With that good size up front,
it sure
offensive
helps.
line is really taking its toll now. And on every play, Towson State, believe me, is going to utilize all the time available to them.
And here in about the last 8 or 10 minutes or so, Towson State has really come up with an effective ground game, which they didn't have in the first half.
And his name is James McEachin. Third down and 11. Now Rogers retreating. O'Neill, and Harris makes the great tackle. That was a fine open field tackle, not so much in the wide open spaces, but had not Harris been there, O'Neill would have rumbled for major yardage.
Well, Delaware's going to get the ball back, it looks like. And unfortunately, once again, I don't think they're going to have very good field position. They're going to have a long way to go when they get the ball.
The Hens have come close to Nolan on a couple of occasions, Quigg in particular, but they haven't gotten there yet. They're coming, and they don't get there again, and it dies and then takes a Towson roll. Campbell fields it. 15, 18, and he is snowed under in weight, and a flag goes down as some frustrations start to come to the front here at Delaware Stadium.
Well, let's see if we can get the initial indication here.
Here's Jerome Nolan, number 7. He's hit for 2 field goals and a point-after touchdown. So he owns, by his foot, 7 of Towson State's 13 points here. Delaware's Blue Hens looking off into the sunset. Towson State's cheerleaders at the other end of the field, whooping it up.
Well, that's going to take the ball back to about the 9-yard line.
The step-off will go against Delaware.
Half the distance.
The Hens huddle.
91 yards to go.
First and 10 for Delaware. The Towson State sideline. Brief glimpse at one of the assistant coaches. The Hens for their own 9. Pontiacus out to the 32-yard line. Steve Pontiacus, some nice running after
a nice
catching
piece
the
of running.
football, and he has injured a leg. Pontiacus,
It's like a Charlie horse or a cramp.
junior tight end from Livingston, New Jersey, Tim Sager, will take his place. Webster just gets the pass off. Sheldon Nelson was bearing down on him, and then Pontiacus does some nice running, picks up 12 more yards up to the 32-yard line. First and 10 for Delaware from their own 32. Hammond to the 48-yard line. And you almost get the feeling, Howard, that we're going to go through the perils of Pauline once more here at the stadium.
Well, there's 41 yards in 2 plays.
Not much time off the clock. The clock shows 7 minutes and 19 seconds remaining to be played. Towson State retreating now as Delaware gets out of a hole from its own 9 out to the 48-yard line. Quezon will set up into the near side. D'Arienzo is in the slot. Oh! Cannot bring it in. Just a little bit off balance offense was D'Arienzo. I guess after we saw what he could do last week, Howard,
it wasn't tough enough for him.
Anything close to him is supposed to be caught. Here's another look at it. Webster, as D'Arienzo gets behind, grooms, and he's a little bit off balance. Incomplete. He's on the sideline. Clock stopped on that incompletion with 6:50 to play. Second down from the 48-yard line. Now a whistle is sounded as Webster retreats and hoist. I knew I was going to say that. It's hoist. Well, he hoisted Webster.
I'm surprised the flag wasn't thrown there.
BJ's looking for some kind of jury.
It was well after the whistle that he was put down.
The flag is way here on the near side, down at the 35-yard line, and we'll have to wait for the discussion to take place.
It's against Delaware.
Yeah, the Hens have hurt themselves via turnovers, via penalties. Parents' Day crowd at Delaware Stadium in Newark. Not pleased with what they've seen. Too much time utilized by the Hens on that last play as they tried to get it off. Puts the football back to the 43-yard line. Second down and 15. Slipping down is the intended receiver, Hire. And then Bubby Hammond, who was in the area, almost had a shot at it. Then Hire will trot back to the Delaware huddle. Delaware was shut down last year, you'll remember, by Temple. That was on the road. And the Delaware fans, of course, have already seen Delaware lose twice this season here in the stadium. And they are 6 minutes and 38 seconds away from doing it for the third time. And I don't remember. That has to be 1967 when Delaware lost 3 times in the stadium. Cason. Just not enough speed to get away from Poist, number 99.
I think he's got the first down, though.
Hammond made the hit on him.
No, he doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong marker.
John
He's
Cason,
10 yards short.
He'll trot off. He is short of the first down, and Anderson will have to come on and punt it again. And Towson will have an opportunity to eat up some of the clock. Here's a driving kick. Kaufman is singling for fair catch. It's a boomer. 51-yard punt from the line of scrimmage for Mike Anderson with the wind at his back. But unfortunately for Delaware, that gives Towson the football, and Towson owns the scoreboard right now at 13-0 with 5 minutes and 59 seconds remaining to be played. Brett Rogers and that skittering tailback, Jim McEachin, joined the huddle. McEachin from Richmond, Virginia. Rogers from Woodbridge, Virginia. First and 10 at the 20. McEachin, oh, they've got a committee waiting for him this time.
I've never heard it put that way. I know there were a lot of blue shirts there, though. Now, this is the time that Delaware has to be careful, because Towson, the obvious ploy for Towson now is to keep the ball on the ground and eat up the clock. But if Delaware overplays the run, they're very liable to get burned with the pass.
Officially a 2-yard loss back to the 18. Second down and 12. McEachin, oh, they're looking for him again. Joe Quigg got him low back near the 15-yard line. Quigg slanting in from his linebacker spot. The Delaware defense, Howard, as you've said, they have played a whale of a football game, considering that they have spent the majority of the afternoon on the gridiron. Towson huddling. Here's our count. 4:56 and the clock running. 13-0. Towson State leading Delaware. And of course, it was heavily favored Delaware, and Towson with a score to settle after getting thumped a year ago, 51-7. This time, it's John Gannon, 55, who dumps McEachin.
I would have expected Towson to pass that time, looking for the first down and get a fresh set of downs to run some more time off the clock.
Well, Delaware must be careful here as they try to go for the block of the punt, because if they get close to Nolan, he's going down, and a flag could easily go down, and that would end it as far as Delaware is concerned. They're coming. They get there. And it goes out of the end zone.
Safety.
Out of the end zone, and that will give Delaware 2 points. There's Ken Pulaski. He's got the football. He's trying to convince the official he got it before it rolled out of the end zone. But the Hens, who've been trying to block a punt all afternoon, they had 3 or 4 blue shirts bearing down in on Nolan, and they get to him, and Delaware finally does get on the scoreboard.
And they get the ball also.
That they do at 13-2, and Towson will have a free kick from their own 20-yard line.
Well, there were 2 or 3 Delaware players in there to block that kick.
They have come so close so many times this afternoon. Joe Quigg, I don't know whether it was he or not, but he's been right in the throat, the face of Nolan every time he has gone back to punt. Didn't get there until then, and if it was Quigg, he had plenty of assistance. The ball rolling out of the end zone for 2 points. And Delaware down now by 11. And Towson will kick it off. They'll have Nolan. He does all their kicking. Place kicks, field goals, punts, kickoffs. Just a freshman. Delaware will come up with good field position. Cason is off, and Joe Campbell is back with Chris Heyer at the 30-yard line to return this free kick. And it's dying in the wind. It's going to be taken up field at the 48-yard line for Delaware. Orlando Whaley, he fielded the ball, but as he fielded it, had his knee touch. And Delaware will have it, 4:06. Remaining to be played. B.J. Webster needing to go long. Webster, Cason, nice catch.
Oh,
and then
boy.
he is knocked off his feet by Grooms, but just a fine reception.
Pulled that ball in behind him.
By Cason. They're always tough. He's giving his body up on that one, and he knows it, and he is down. Cason shaken as he takes in the reception at the Towson 43-yard line, and they'll assist Cason. Here's the catch by Cason. Watch this fine reception. Reaching back with one arm, brings it into the shoulder pad, and then Poist.
Right there, he got stuck.
Yeah, Groom stuck him good, and then Poist rode over the top of him. And Cason still being attended to. Spectrovision bringing you University of Delaware football. Each and every Saturday throughout the fall. We'll be here at the stadium next week as Delaware tackles tough Temple. Division 1A Temple. Tough schedule Temple.
That's always an interesting game, no matter what the disparities in difference in program might be.
Second down and 1 at the 43-yard line of Towson. Webster, he's got his receiver, D'Arienzo. Does a little jump in the air.
See, that was a little tougher.
Shaking on the play, making the tackle was Alan Argent, but now he is up on his feet, coming to the sideline.
He better hurry.
And a change is upcoming as Paul Gray takes over for Argent at a linebacker spot. Delaware quickly up over the ball at the 27.5-yard line of Towson.
Oh.
Webster down, he goes. Nelson's got him. Sheldon Nelson, I don't know whether he learned that in boot camp or not, but the ex-Marine, he gets to BJ in a hurry.
I don't think BJ was even aware he was there then until he was down on the ground.
Here's the previous play when D'Arienzo made the reception. Washington bearing down on Webster. D'Arienzo into the air. Argent's there with him, and they go down together. Bill Maley on the sideline. Bill?
That last catch by D'Arienzo was a little reminiscent of last week. A little reminiscent against UMass last week. Expect BJ to look for him again here. He seems to come up with a big play.
D'Arienzo sparking Delaware on their winning touchdown drive a week ago. And he moves Delaware deeper into Towson territory, but then on the following play, it was Sheldon Nelson, the defensive tackle on the right side in the 3-4 defense employed by Phil Albert at Towson State. And it's been a successful defense so far in this season. They opened by shutting out New York Tech 60-0. Beat Liberty Baptist 13-3. Took care of Slippery Rock 28-0, and they did it at Slippery Rock. That's not easy. Lost to the University of Maine on the road up in Orono 23-16. And last week really whacked Morgan State in their homecoming contest down at Towson 48-0. 3 shutouts. Not a shutout here today, but Delaware has not been able to put a point on the board via touchdown. 2nd down and 15. Webster throwing for Hammond. Rubling is there, and he's got the interception. That's the 3rd interception of the day by Gary Rubling, the all-time career interceptor for the Towson State Tigers. He'll come off to the sideline. He came in with 15, and he has now run that count to 18.
He took the ball right out of Hammond's hands.
Hammond was open.
Here, let's take another look at it.
Webster just a little bit too long in the air with the football. Gave Rubling time to recover.
They both have it right there.
And he just outfought him for the football, does Gary Rubling. And Towson State is just 3 minutes, 33 seconds away from a major upset here at Delaware Stadium. 13-2 is their count. Gary Rubling happy on the sideline, you bet. McKeachin, O'Neill from the tailback spot. McKeachin was in on the last series and carried 3 straight times for Towson. I guess they're going to give him a rest now and have O'Neill carry the football.
I don't think that at this point, Len, the upset means as much to Towson as erasing the memory of last year's 51-7.
Oh, it's gone. Forget it. That game was never even played as far as the Tigers are concerned. You asked them about the series with Delaware. Yeah, we won 13-2. First time we played them. You can believe it. Here's Sean Murphy, and this time Quigg is waiting for him, and then a whole host of blue shirts are there. Ball comes free, but after the whistle had blown, as Mike Harris picked it up and dashed into the end zone. But Delaware is going to have its record go to 3-3. And all 3 losses at the stadium here in Newark.
And 2 of them to Division II teams.
Yeah, that's a good point. Westchester shocked them on the opening Saturday. They're in Division II. Westchester reeled off 3 straight wins, 2 after their upset of Delaware, and then they've lost the last 2 weekends. Towson pushing its record to 5-1. And will next play Mansfield State at home next Saturday. They will play Delaware State in Dover in 2 weeks. Could be an interesting matchup. They beat Delaware State a year ago. 3rd down and 15, and now Towson has taken too much time as they're eating up as much of the clock as possible here. This one is going to stick for a while, I believe, with Tubby Raymond, and he's going to have some soul searching to do, and a lot of his young football players are also going to have to do a lot of soul searching, Howard, because still we have 5 games left to play on the schedule, and with Temple coming in next week, James Madison to be met on the road, Rhode Island to be met on the road, Holy Cross, all they are right now is unbeaten going into this weekend's play. Bucknell at the end of the season, and the Bison, they always like to try to get ready for Delaware.
What you're trying to say, I think, is there's nothing easy left on the schedule for Delaware.
Well, as it turns out, there was nothing easy on the schedule, as it were, because, and Tubby has said it time, is going to do the punting. Kaufman in to do the punting. He's the more experienced one. He's a sophomore. He's got a year on Nolan. So he'll punt it. Delaware will come. And actually, he's going to run with the football and probably
take 2 points.
That's what he's going to do. Kaufman's going to give Delaware 2 more points. Even if Delaware scores a touchdown and a 2-point PAT, they're still going to come up 1 point short. So 2 safeties for Delaware here in the fourth quarter. And again, the Hens will get the football. 1:41 on the clock. Led home quest, Howard Gesner. The Spectrovision brings you University of Delaware football. We'll be here next Saturday as the University of Temple U out of Philadelphia comes to Newark. And that one has been a grand series. Delaware has pulled some surprises in the last 4 or 5 years. Wayne Harden is no longer the head man at Temple. Bruce Arians coming out of the South to take over.
He coached assistant coach at some obscure school down in Alabama, I believe. Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, they had a Bear as a coach. Bear Bryant was the head coach. Bruce was an assistant under the legendary Bear. Nolan will kick it off. Campbell at the 40, and nothing as he gets no help.
Well, Towson just playing it safe now. They're keeping the ball, trying to keep the ball away from the Delaware return men, kicking the type of kick that's going to hit the ground first, and maybe something funny will happen to it. At any rate, you've got to wait a minute or two, or a second or two, before you can pick it up and run with it. And by that time, the Towson players have covered the ball.
B.J. Webster, one final shot from the 43. He tosses it, and it's almost picked off by Rogers. Rogers has 2 interceptions, and he'd like to get an equalizing interception ratio along with Rubling. Remember, Rubling has 3. Rogers has 2, but Rogers has the key one. His went the other way for 18 yards in the first score of the ball game. 1:31 on the clock. Delaware is down to 1 timeout. Higher coming to the near side. Webster, Hammond has it knocked away by Kaufman. And then Towson is claiming it was intercepted by Bubby Hammond.
Almost got there. He was close.
Kaufman knocked it away from Hammond. And Bubby Hammond. That's Bubby Hammond. For Towson. And Paul Hammond for Delaware. Hammond is off now. D'Arienzo is on. 3rd down and 10 from the 43. D'Arienzo to the far side. Now Kaysen will set up to the near side. Webster, higher, takes the reception, and more importantly for Delaware,
stops the clock
and picks up a 1st down with the reception on the far side at the 43-yard line. Chris Hire adding to his reception totals on the season, but Delaware pass receiving this afternoon has not gone well, and the quarterback throwing has not gone well. Nice reception to keep his 1 foot in bounds. Hammond now splits to the far side. He's back in. Webster trying to direct traffic. Somebody is lined up wrong. I can tell you that because we've got a full house backfield, and Webster does the smart thing. He doesn't want to lose any time off the clock, lose the last time out, so he just throws it out of bounds.
He had 3 backs in the line that time, and
it's been a while since we've seen anything like that. 1942, maybe.
Yeah, but they weren't even lined up the right way.
D'Arienzo was in and is now out. Obviously, one of the Hens not knowing where to line up. 2nd down from the 43. Webster wants to go long, wants to go to Hammond. Rogers and he collide, but there will be no flag down at the 10-yard line. And Paul will have the long trek back to the Delaware huddle.
3rd down coming up.
You know, when you look at the University of Delaware's schedule, and you see Temple as the number 7 team on the schedule, and everybody looks towards Temple.
Yes, they do.
Everybody that follows University of Delaware football looks towards Temple. I know that Tubby would just as soon have Temple the first game of the season, get it over with, and then get on with play.
One about the season.
But maybe somebody started looking to Temple a little bit too early. Although we can't take anything away from Towson State. They just came in here and took it away from Delaware on this weekend. The pass completion moves the ball to the 32-yard line. And the officials now spotting the football inside the 1-minute mark. Just a little bit of a delay here.
Well, apparently he didn't get the first down. They're calling it 4th down.
The Towson State Tiger cheerleaders whooping it up here on the sideline. Big day for Towson State. They have very real aspirations, Howard, as the chain is taken across the field. Delaware huddling back at the 45-yard line. They have real aspirations of very soon moving up. The ball, the chain stretched, and Delaware did get the first down, but they have aspirations of moving up to 1AA play. They have come quickly, have the Tigers under head coach Phil Albert.
You know, their basketball program is a Division I program. They compete in the East Coast Conference.
Wasn't that many years ago that they were playing Division III football. In fact, they played Division III football in 1978. They've only been in Division II the last 4 years. Here is Webster under pressure, and down he goes. Sheldon Nelson has got him. Sheldon Nelson doing a jubilant dance of victory for the Towson State Tigers. The 24-year-old from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and his defensive crew have done the job here against Delaware.
And the Hens have just used their last timeout. Stop the clock with 38 seconds left.
13-4 is our count. And here is Nelson in quickly on top of Webster, and it's just been that kind of day for the Blue Hens. They were completely without an offense in the first half.
48 yards. 48 yards total offense, and all of that was on the ground. Delaware did not complete a single pass in the first half, and as a matter of fact, had only 1 first down in the whole half.
And after Webster threw the pass interception that went for a score for Towson State, Tubby pulled him out and tried to insert John Spar, hoping that John would have a hot hand, but his hand was just as cold. Back. Remember the penalty that can come for a player being on the field. It happened this year in a major game and cost the team a major play. Here is Hammond, the intended receiver. I think Bubby Hammond, got a piece of it.
And it looked like somebody deflected that one.
Delaware has run out of downs. They have no more timeouts, and all Brett Rogers is going to do is take the snap from center and fall on the football. And Towson State's upset of Delaware will be a fait accompli.
Well, this will drop Delaware's record down to 3-3, and like you said, all 3 losses here in the stadium. And Big Bad Temple coming to town next week, and you have to wonder what the coaching staff is going to do to get the team prepared for next Saturday.
Yeah, you would almost think that Delaware would hope that it was time to put the show on the road, but Temple is coming in next week here to Delaware Stadium. The clock winding down. The Towson players are ready to congratulate the Blue Hens. Towson achieving what has to be a major upset for them. Probably one of, if not the biggest football win ever for Phil Albert and the Towson State Tigers from nearby Towson in Maryland.
Raymond, gentlemen, that he is. First man across the field. Congratulate Albert.
Doing the job offensively and defensively, but it was their defense that, for the most part, just wore down and wore out Delaware 13-4 for our Spectra Vision crew here at the University of Delaware Stadium in Newark. We'd like to thank you for tuning in and be with us next weekend when Delaware plays host to the Temple Owls. For Howard Gessner, this is Len Holmquist. Until next week, so long, everyone.